Okay, you want to watch a video about some post-trauma, about some real stuff, and not about the story, because I assume you already played the game or watched the Let's Play video. So let's start with my theories, and these are weird. The first thing that we see throughout the whole game is the gloom. And what we also can assume is the fact that every place we visit are somehow connected to the people that have a trauma, somehow connected to that place. We see that with Roman, who has a trauma regarding subways or something happening with subways or in a subway station. Some things that never get explained. Then we have Freya, who has a trauma regarding school and something that happened in the school. And then we have Carlos, who has a trauma, I guess, in the police station. And here's the thing. If every place has to do something with the trauma, then what the fuck is Carlos' trauma? Because as far as we see, he's enjoying it. He's used to it. He's living out his psychopathical way. He's torturing a guy over and over again, and we learn through that there's a time loop. So the first thing that I think is happening is simple. Carlos is a psychopath and not a policeman. I assume he is a killer that got imprisoned. I don't know, just a feeling. The second place and the second character who make no sense are the hospital and Jill. Jill is the Spider-Woman that we see at the beginning when we play Roman and meet her in this monitoring room. She seems to know Roman and Roman doesn't remember her. It's kinda weird if you ask me, but here's the thing. Every single place is somehow connected to a trauma and a person. And I assume the hospital is connected to Jill. Jill mentions a girl, and we don't know who that girl is. We don't know if it's really her child, or if it's Roman's child, or if it's their child. We don't know that. I assume that the girl was in the hospital, Jill was her mother visiting her and losing her. Roman doesn't have any memory of it. And the reason he doesn't remember Jill isn't because he doesn't remember his ex-wife or anything, but it's because he knows her as the mother of a person that died in the incident he caused. I even thought about the fact that Jill turns into a weird spider, and if it has something to do with creating a web so she can catch Roman, or if it's just an abomination from the gloom or something. And honestly, that's the thing where I think it's just artistic choice. Really. There's no real law explanation as to why she's a spider woman. There is no really explanation as to why it's a hospital, aside that it's maybe something with a lost child and Roman being the culprit. And then we have, of course, Roman himself with a train incident, and that's the thing that bothers me. Let's take Freya as an example. In Freya's case, we get a really good explanation as to what was happening. We see that it must be a Catholic or at least church integrated school, and that's a thing. I guess that's why what was happening in Freya's school wasn't really talked about, because, you know, that's why Freya was so scared, because she knew if she says something, nothing would change. No other teacher would help her. No parent would help her, because she knows she's on a school that, yeah, lets some stuff happen. And then there's Roman, we see trains, we see puppets, we see everything going on around him, and no explanation about what really happened. We know he messed up, we know he must have, and I'm just assuming that he either let a subway train derail or crash into something, and yeah, because he was suicidal, who knows? We don't really get an explanation for it. Then there's the thing with the gloom itself. I don't remember exactly when it was, I have to look into the footage, but Freya and Roman had a conversation about what they see, and we learn that Freya and Roman see two different things. So if we take that into consideration, and if we take the things beforehand, what about the flesh? What about the puppets? We don't know. We can't assume anything. And I think that's a nifty part, if I say so, but also terrible. Because if we are honest, if every monster, every location depends on who's looking, then the hospital could have been not a hospital. Maybe the police station was a police station because we are playing Carlos, but maybe it was a hospital when we played Roman in the same location. Who knows? Another thing that bothers me, and I'm not really inclined to like it in any way, shape or form, Freya not talking is one thing. But did you ever meet a mute person? They don't just shut up, they make a sound, and Freya not even talking a tiny bit. I don't know if it's supposed to show shock or if it's part of the trauma or something, but I don't understand it because it almost seems like a curse from her past. And then there's the next logical step, and I know I'm jumping all over the place with my ideas. But let's assume that Freya doesn't talk because she is muting herself because of her past, because she has the feeling that she should have talked and is punished by not talking. You know what I mean? I know it's complicated. So let's assume that. What about Roman? Does Roman have a similar curse? What is Roman's curse? Or is it just a side effect? Then there's an ending. We see the king. We understand the king. Hey, I have a big mistake made and I have the gloom to look over and shut the f up and go, please. I am moody and egoistical and I'm not moving my ass. Bro, why the f are you even adding that character? Just to explain? I mean, to explain you could have any survivor or a note or a book or something. That we got a king, the creator who caused the gloom, and he says, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do anything, bye. It almost feels like they wanted to add a king for the sake of adding a king. Apart from all the illogical things, or at least illogical things in my opinion, I have the feeling the story is so complicated and overly mysterious and not explained because the author was either overwhelmed or the studio wasn't able to convert what the author had in mind into the game. I don't know why. I have just that feeling. If you agree with me, comment down below. So yeah. Anyway, have a nice day. Thank you for listening. Leave a like, subscribe, whatever. I'm not your mom. Bye.